Baraka, Yasharallah, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, all praises, glory to Yahweh, Hallelujah, praise Yahweh. And saying that, learn and understand what you worship. Because at the end of the day, despite the baptism, despite the confessions and belief, many believers die outside of their faith because they lack understanding of what they worship. See, so learn and understand what you worshiping, and learn and understand what this political game is about. Because at the end of the day, whether you choose to accept or understand the reality of the matter, understand that these political events that been played out through these politicians, whether they're domestic or foreign, it's all biblically related. See, therefore, y'all need to learn and understand what you worshiping, because see, through these religious teachers and these religious organizations, a lot of you all become enemies to Yahweh God. A lot of you all die outside of y'all faith. Y'all die in separation through these religious teachers and these organizations. Y'all die in idolization. Y'all die in separation. Because see, sin separation from Yahweh God. And the first commandment is idolization. The second is idolization. And the third is idolization. Yet, y'all die in idolization. Y'all become enemies to Yahweh God because y'all lack understanding. See, so y'all need to learn and understand what you worshiping, and through these religious teachings, we gonna get a better understanding, because see, these religious teachings that y'all are into, you have no life. It doesn't matter how much you believe in Jesus who do not exist. I don't care how much you call on the name of the Lord God. At the end of the day, Lord, God, Jesus, Savior, those ain't nothing but pagan titles. You understand me? See, so y'all need to learn and understand what you worship. Saying that, let me go to the let me get John. Let me go into the book of John, 4 chapter. I'm gonna get John 4 chapter, and let me get 22, and then I'm gonna go ahead into the book of Jeremiah, the 5th chapter. John chapter 4, verse 22. Ye worship ye know not what. And a lot of y'all don't understand what you worship. You understand me? Because see, understand, worshiping is an act of obedience. You understand me? And the church is not designed to teach you obedience. Do you understand me? Let's read that again. Ye worship you know not what. And a lot of you Gentiles, y'all don't know what y'all worship. Do you understand me? It is what it is. See, due to the fact that these religious doctrines. You understand me? And these religious teachers. So y'all like understanding of what the scriptures is based on, or what the scriptures is about. Ye worship, you know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews, meaning salvation is for the Jews. Now, through the religious teachings, you all think that applies to the Gentile nations as well. Now, understand, it do not apply to the Gentile nations. Understand, the Bible speaks about the Gentiles in certain aspects, right? Yet, this book is based on the blessings and the curses. You understand me? Because see, every curses that are written in this book are against the children of Israel. You understand me? See, the curses in this book is not against the Gentile nation. Now understand, Esau is the end of the world, and his bloodline have no salvation. Yet his offsprings have that salvation. You understand me? See, so when he say you know not what you worship, he's talking about the Gentile nations, because that lady who he was talking to was a Gentile. She not an Israelite. You understand me? Let's read that again. John chapter 4 verse 22. Ye worship you know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. And salvation is of the Jews. Why? Because that salvation goes back into the promise that was established to Abraham. And prior to Abraham, that promises was made to Adam. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let's read that again. Ye worship you know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour cometh, and now is when true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. And that time has come, and we living in this time where you're going to worship the Father in spirit and in truth. You understand me? And a lot of you all don't understand the truth, so therefore y'all not obedient to that truth. Although you have that faith, and although you believe or have that or establish that faith-based system, yeah, y'all lack understanding. So therefore y'all die in idolization. Because see, understand, the scriptures are for the children of Israel. See, so through these religious teachings, you all think that God stopped talking to the world after the Old Testament. About 500 years done passed by, and God sent his son, or God came down in the flesh himself, established a covenant with the church. Due to the fact of that, Yahweh Shai say the rock, the ministry was established on Peter, or Peter is that rock. The ministry is built on that rock. You understand me? See, so understand, through these religious teachings, you all think that you have life, but yet y'all lack understanding, so therefore you don't have no life, because y'all don't understand the writings of Moses. You understand me? It is what it is. See, so understand what you worship. Let's start from the beginning again. John 4. John chapter 4 verse 22. Ye worship you know not what. See, y'all obey, y'all don't know what y'all obeying. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour coming, and now is when true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and the truth. And that time has come. Why? Because although someone may confess and believe, yet they don't believe. Because see, understand, knowing and believing is two different. You can talk all the knowledge you want, but you don't believe in that knowledge, due to the fact of that you don't apply that knowledge. Because if you apply that knowledge, you believe in that knowledge. See, understand, knowing and believing is two different. You understand me? You have a lot of people that believe in God, that got baptized in this character named Jesus, who don't exist, yet they support homosexuality. Yet they support legislations that makes a mockery out of Yahweh God and exalt yourself above Yahweh God. You understand me? Because y'all lack understanding through these religious organizations. Because see, understand, the church is the religious governance system of man. You understand me? Now, this religious governance system, biblically, is what we know as the gate of gods. You understand me? Today, it's known as religion. See, so y'all really have to understand these religious teachings. All right? Because there is no life in these religious teachings. You understand me? It is what it is. Let's read verse 23 again. But the hour coming, and now is when true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeks us to worship him. Yahweh is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Meaning that you have to be, your spirit has to be into that truth in order to obey Yahweh God, or obey and walk in these commandments. You understand me? It is what it is. See, so understand that this truth is not for everybody. So everybody can't walk in this truth. Everybody can't handle and understand that truth. Many believers can't see beyond the physical nature. You understand me? A lot of people watch these media outlets but can't see beyond the outlets and what's taking place, because see, again, it's all biblically related. Do you understand me? It is what it is. See, so that time has come when you have true worshipers. You understand me? That's why my page is T.F.Y, True Followers of Yahweh, Facts Over Feelings. Because it's all about the facts. In order to grow into grace, into knowledge, you need to learn and understand what y'all worshiping. Because the church is not designed to teach you. Yet it keeps you in idolization, so y'all become enemies to Yahweh God through your religious teachers. In fact, let me hold that. Let me get let me go into the book of James. And let me get 4 and 4. James chapter 4 verse 4. Ye adulterous and adulteress. Now what he talking about is like when man and woman cheat on each other. They talking about idolization. You understand me? Instead of worshiping Yahweh God, the creators of the heavens and the earth, man worship creation and put a name to that creation. So therefore they become adulterous. Therefore they are in idolization. You understand me? Let's read that again. Ye adulterous and adulteress, know you not that friendship of the world is an enmity with Yahweh? Now that word, what he talking about are the inhabitants. All nations is on this planet. Now that barrier is what we know as the philosophy of man, or the physical nature. You understand me? Because the physical nature is a barrier. That's why Yahweh Shai came and tore down that barrier. You understand me? See, there's a lot of things y'all don't understand, and the church is not designed to teach you. So y'all die in idolization. Y'all die in separation. Although you done got baptized and believe in some character named Jesus who don't exist, yet in y'all religious teachings, y'all are separated. But yet you not understanding that you are in separation. You understand me? Because see, again, these religious doctrines that y'all are into, that we've been to touch on, stands from not only the Catholic Church, but stands from the Greek and Roman philosophers like Plato, Aristotle. You understand me? And a lot of it increased in the Renaissance period, what we know as humanism. You understand me? When they rewrote the scriptures. Do you understand me? Let's read that again. James chapter 4, verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know you not that friendship of the world is an enmity with Yahweh? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy to Yahweh. And y'all are enemies to Yahweh, because see, understand the ideology and the philosophical views violates and makes a mockery out of Yahweh God. You understand me? Like an example, man shouldn't wear women clothes. Yet through democracy and wokeness, it's okay for a man to put on a woman clothes. When you go into the entertainment business, a lot of these Hollywood celebrities like Kevin Hart and all these people wear dresses. What's his name? That dude Madea and Martin. You understand me? It is what it is. See, so understand that the views and the ideology of this world goes against Yahweh God, and Yahweh God is against the views and ideology of man. That's why the physical nature is a barrier. You understand me? See, y'all have to understand the Garden of Eden. There are things that y'all have to understand, and you have to be taught it. But yet, in y'all Bible studies and y'all revival meetings, y'all lack that understanding, because your religious leader, your pastor, your deacon, your reverend, whoever, he don't know. He don't know the scriptures. You understand me? Because see, understand, although y'all go to church and y'all have y'all religious leaders in the church, the pastor, the reverends, and the deacons, yet understand that the Hebrew scriptures are given to certain individuals. You understand me? I'm gonna hold that right quick. Let me get Amos 3 and let me get verse 7. Amos chapter 3 verse 7. Surely the Lord will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets. See, so the writings of Moses and the mysteries of the kingdom is given to the prophets. You understand me? The prophets of Israel. See, understand, y'all religious leaders, although they may be black, yet they are not chosen. You understand me? Even though he may call many people, but only a few are chosen. You understand me? See, a lot of these pastors that go to these churches, that go to school and get their certificate in biblical doctrines, degrees and whatnot, Yahweh God never called them. Because see, all these doctrines, degrees that y'all go to church are based on philosophy of man. They're not based on the writings of Moses. You understand me? Because see, the prophets repeated what Moses wrote, and Yahweh Shai came and repeated what the prophet said and what Moses wrote about. You understand me? Anything outside of that is irrelevant. Anything outside of that is idolization. It is what it is. You understand me? It is. See, so understand that this truth is not given to everybody, because see, everybody don't understand the truth. They can't see beyond that. See the truth. You understand me? They really live a fantasy because they can't accept the realities of life. Do you understand me? See, so we are in that time now where you're going to worship the Father in that truth. You understand me? And the truth is not being taught, yet we're going to explore some of these religious doctrines, because there is no life in these doctrines that y'all are into. You understand me? Jeremiah chapter 5 verse 4. Therefore I say, surely these are poor, they are foolish. Listen, let's read that again. Therefore I said, surely they are poor, they are foolish. When he mean poor, he's not talking about economic, he's talking about their spirituality. It's poor. You understand me? It is what it is. They foolish, and they foolish. Not only is they poor in their spirit and they worshiping, but they foolish, meaning that they lack understanding because of the philosophy or the physical nature of man. You understand me? It is so what they do, it become fools. Although they profess that they love God or wise, yet they become fools through the philosophy of man. That was Romans, not Romans, but when you go to Romans 1, that what Paul say, they profess to be wise, yet they became fools. Because you understand me? Because see, a lot of y'all are foolish in y'all ideology and y'all foolish in y'all philosophy. You understand me? Y'all are foolish to think there's some white dude that don't exist gonna come out of the sky when the ground crack open. You understand me? It is what it is. See, you all think that America gonna last long, but yet America is falling economically into another third world country because you have these politicians that into socialism and communism inside of America in its political system, tearing America down through its political system. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so a lot of you all are poor, a lot of you all are foolish because y'all like understanding of what y'all worshiping. Like the Venezuelans, right? They voted for communism because they thought it was free. Yet when that freedom don't exist, they came to America, right? To escape political persecution. The same thing goes for not North Carolina, but Virginia, right? Because Spamberger, that governor, what she did, she enslaved them. Now they finna get ready to feel the enslavement of what they voted for. Because see, all them black people, they lack understanding of what they voted for, so they became foolish. They don't know Yahweh God. Because if you know Yahweh God, you'll know that the Democratic Party are the KKK, and they go against Yahweh God. You understand me? Let's go back to Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 5 verse 4. Therefore I said, surely these are poor, they are foolish. They have not known the way of the Lord, nor the judgment of their God Yahweh. I will get unto me great men. Listen, I will get unto me great men and will speak to them. See, to the men he gonna speak to are the men that know the way of the Lord, Yahweh God, that know these statutes, commandments, and ordinances, that walking in these statutes, commandments, and ordinances. You understand me? A lot of y'all religious leaders not walking into these commandments. You understand me? Let me see. Let me get Let me go to Jeremiah. Let me get 23, and let's get down to 21. Jeremiah chapter 3 verse 21. I have not sent thee prophets, yet they run. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesy. Meaning that Yahweh never spoken to y'all religious leaders. So they prophesying over something that Yahweh never spoken to, so therefore they lack understanding in y'all religious teachings. You understand me? Let's go back. Jeremiah chapter 5 verse 4. Therefore I said, surely these are poor, they are foolish, they have not known the way of the Lord, nor the judgment of their God Yahweh. I will get unto me great men and will speak unto them, for they have known the way of the Lord and the judgment of their God. But these have altogether broken the yoke and burst the bonds, meaning that they no longer captive to the religious ideology and the philosophy of man. You understand me? Like a lot of you all are captive to democracy because you think that democracy means freedom. You understand me? A lot of y'all are captive to that wokeness. Y'all are captive to racism. You understand me? All those ain't nothing but philosophical weapons, instruments, weapons of war that use politically for control. You understand me? See, y'all like understanding because see, this whole game is about control. You understand me? Because life is based on politics. Hey, it is what it is. See, so that's what y'all have to understand. You understand me? See, so understand what y'all worshiping, because a lot of you die in idolization. So therefore, we're going to get an understanding of these religious teachings. You understand me? Because there is no life in them. And in fact, in saying that, we already in the book of John. Let's go to John 3 and 16. Because see, y'all think that this applies to the Gentile nations as well. Now, when it comes to the kingdom, inside the kingdom in the new world, The Gentiles are going to come into the kingdom. Y'all co-heirs to that kingdom. Yet in that kingdom, you all are enslaved. Y'all Gentiles are going into slavery. Esau and his bloodline has no salvation. Yet his offspring in other nations who he multiplied with, they are going into slavery because the kingdom of Yahweh God is reverse slavery. You understand me? It is what it is. See, so we finna explore these religious doctrines because through these religious doctrines, y'all idolize and y'all misinterpret. Therefore, y'all become enemies through these teachings. You understand me? Let's get that again. John chapter 3, verse 16. For Yahweh so loved the world. Now, when it says Yahweh so loved the world, he's talking about the inhabitants. Now, those inhabitants, or who he relating to, are the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand me? Because see, understand. These 12 tribes makes up that divine governance system. These 12 tribes or these 12 nations come together to form the kingdom of Yahweh God. You understand me? Same way how America has 51 or 52 states that forms America. You understand me? Africa is the continent, yet you got 52 countries that makes up that continent of Africa. You understand me? Here in America, you got 51 or 52 states that makes America, yet the nation's capital is in Washington, D.C. Right? See, so when you come to the 12 tribes of Israel, when you come to the 12 tribes, the divine governance system, Judah is the capital of the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand me? Because see, Ephraim and what's his name? Ephraim and Simon, what's his name? Ephraim and Joseph, they was idolizations. You understand me? They went into slavery for idolization, idol worshiping. You understand me? So Yahweh Shai came out of Judah, the lawgiver. You understand me? And it is what it is. See, so understand when he says the world, he's talking about the nation of Israel. You understand me? He's not talking about the other nations. You understand? Let's get to the book of Genesis, the 35th chapter. And let's get verse 10. Genesis 35, verse 10. And Yahweh said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called Jacob anymore, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. See, Israel means he will rule, due to the fact of that Jacob got that victory over the physical nature. You understand me? So his name would change to Israel. Alright? Verse 11. And Yahweh said unto him, I am Yahweh Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee. See, a nation and a company of nations. Now that nation he talking about is the tribe of Judah. You understand me? Because the Messiah is going to come out of Judah. And he talking about the other 11 tribes that makes up the 12 tribes. So he's talking about the 11 nations. You understand me? See, all the 12 tribes are nations on this earth. You understand me? It is what it is. Let's read verse 11 again. And Yahweh said unto him, I am Yahweh Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. And when you go back into history, you're gonna see a lot of kingdoms, a lot of kings came out of Judah. You understand me? It is what it is. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed after thee. Now that seed after Jacob is Yahweh Shai. You understand me? And thy seed after thee will I give that land. And he's talking about the second Exodus. You understand? He's talking about that kingdom, that new world. You understand me? It is what it is. See, so when it says Yahweh so loved the world, he's talking about the nation of Israel. Because see, understand, the world was made for Israel to rule. You understand me? I'm gonna go into the Apocrypha. Let me get Second Ezra's, and I'm gonna get Second Ezra's. I think what 6, and I'm gonna start at in the Apocrypha Second Ezra's. I'm gonna go to chapter 6, and I'm gonna start at 53. Second Ezra, chapter 6, verse 53. Upon the 6th day thou gavest commandment unto the earth, that before thee it should bring forth beasts, cattle, creepy things. And after these Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures. Meaning that man and the animals was created on that 6th day. That's why when you go to the Bible, man is known as the beast. It's not necessarily talking about animals. As certain portions of scriptures, they talk about the animals. Yet when he's talking about that beast out of the sea, he's not talking about an animal. You understand me? He's talking about man, because see, man and animals was created on that same day. You understand me? They were created on the 6th day. Let's read that again. Upon the 6th day thou gavest commandment unto the earth, that before it should bring forth beasts, cattle, and creepy things. And after these Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures. Of him come we all, and the people whom thou hast chosen. See, so out of all the nations on earth, he chose a group of people. You understand me? All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake. See, the world was made for our sakes. The world was made for the children of Israel to rule. Now, the children of Israel never exercised lordship over the Gentiles. They followed the Gentiles and quickly went into slavery, economically and religiously. Verse 56. As for other people, listen, as for other people, wait, let's go back to 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people, now the other people are the Gentile nations. Anything outside of Israel is considered Gentile. You understand me? Whether you're an Edomite, whether you're a Hamite, whether you're Azanite, whether you're an Amorite, it doesn't matter. Anything outside of Israel are Gentiles. You understand me? As for other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said they are nothing but like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. Meaning that the Lord look at these other nations as spit. The Lord look at these other nations as ain't nothing but shitholes. Ethiopia, the Africans, the Edomites, the Moabites. You understand me? The Iranians, the Philippines to this day. All other nations Yahweh despised due to the fact of that they idolize. They idolize. They heavy into idolization. You understand me? They corrupt the covenant of Levi. You understand me? With their religious ideology and philosophy. You understand me? It is what it is. Okay, let's read 56 again. And for other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said they are nothing, but like unto spittle, and hast like the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from the vessel. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen which have been reputed as nothing have begun to be Lord over us and to devour us. And Lord is authority. And they devour us through their authority, politically, religiously, and economically to this day. The so-called African Americans are being devoured. But yet, y'all lack understanding of what these policies is about, because these policies and these agendas are devouring. You understand me? It is what it is. See, understand, politics and religion is what the game is about. You can't separate it. That's why y'all fall victim. You understand me? In the lack of understanding. Okay, see, so these other nations is nothing to Yahweh God, but yet they rule over us due to the fact of that the nation of Israel never exercised lordship. They follow other nations, so Yahweh God put their ass into slavery, and other nations ruled over the children of Israel even to this day, until Yahweh Shaitan came. You understand me? Verse 58. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into the hands. If the world was now made for our sakes, Why do we now possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? How long are we going to be without? Yeah, if we take over right now, then prophecies are fulfilled because the world was made for children of Israel to rule. You understand me? Now, in this time, this world is wicked. So we're not going to rule this wicked society. When the kingdom come, we're going to rule. You understand me? But now, if we was to inherit the earth right now, prophecies have came to pass because the world was made for us to rule. The thing is that we were going to exercise lordship over the Gentiles. Y'all going into slavery. You understand me? Right now, you be slaving a Gentile. The white man right now be picking up nothing but fucking rocks. Right now. You understand me? And I'll be whooping his ass for not picking him up fast enough. You understand me? The kingdom of Yahweh God will reverse slavery. You understand me? See, so understand when he says the world, he's talking about the nation of Israel. He's not talking about the Gentile nations. You understand me? Because the Gentile nations have no covenant. Let me get the book of Amos. Let me get Amos 3:1 right quick. Amos chapter 3 verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all families of the earth. See, so out of all families of the earth, he only know the nation of Israel. You understand me? See, so when you say God so Yahweh so loved the world, Yahweh so loved the nation of Israel. You understand me? Let's go back. John chapter 3 verse 16. For Yahweh so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. Now when he says gave his only begotten son, basically what he's talking about is the promises that was writings of Moses. I mean, how can I say it? The writings of Moses coming to pass in Yahweh Shai. You understand me? Biblical prophecy are coming to pass. Biblical prophecy that was spoken and have came to pass. Do you understand me? Let me get Isaiah 9:6. Isaiah chapter 9 verse 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. Now that government is what we know as a divine system. You understand me? And the commandments is the divine governing system because they come directly from Yahweh God and it governs a body of people. You understand me? Unto us the nation of Israel. You understand me? A son was given. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let's get Deuteronomy. Let me get Deuteronomy 18 and 18 right quick. Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 18. I will raise them up a prophet from amongst their brethren. Like unto thee, I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require that of him. And that was Yahweh Shai. You understand me? Let's hold that and let me get John, I think what? John 12:49. Yeah, 49. John chapter 12 verse 49, but I'm gonna start at 48. Verse 48. He that rejected me and received not my word have one that judgeth him. The word I have spoken, the same shall judge him in that last day. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me gave me a commandment what I should say. Listen, what I should say and what I should speak. I know that the commandments is life everlasting. Whatsoever I speak, therefore, even as the Father say unto me, so I speak. See, so whatever the Father told him, he spoke. He spoke through the prophets, and he spoke in us through his Son. You understand me? Let me get Hebrews 1:1. Hebrews chapter 1 verse 1. Yahweh, who at sundry times in divers manners spoke in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in the last days spoken to us by his son. You understand me? So the writing that he's spoken through Moses, through the prophets, and through Yahweh Shai. Do you understand me? It is what it is. Let me get Numbers 24. Let me get Numbers 24, and let me get verse 16. I'm gonna start at 15. Numbers 24, verse 15. And he took up his parable and said, Balaam, the son of Beor, have said, and the man whose eyes are open have said, he have said, which heard the words of Yahweh and knew the knowledge. Listen, right? Let's read verse 16 again. He have said, which heard the word, listen, which heard the words of Yahweh and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, having his eyes open. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not night. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and the scepter shall rise out of Israel, and smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of self. Because he understands self was in idolization, even though self called on the name of the Lord, yet self was in idolization. You understand me? It is what it is. He didn't know Yahweh God. He didn't know Yahweh because he didn't know I am that I am. Although self was born. You understand me? But that's when the birth of idolization started to take place. You understand me? When they first called on the name of the Lord, he wasn't calling on Yahweh God. You understand me? Verse 18. And Edom shall be a possession, Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do vainly. And Edom was a possession because Edom was overran, and when you go into the history in the book of Obadiah, what happened? The Edomites came into Jerusalem and they took on our heritage. They took our nationality, and the children of Israel went into slavery. You understand me? It is what it is. See, so they converted into what we know as Judaism. You understand me? See, so understand that he gave God, Yahweh so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. And that only begotten son he was given to the nation of Israel, because those promises that was established to Abraham. And those promises not only was to Abraham, goes back into Adam. You understand? That's why Yahweh Shai was known as the second Adam. Because the first Adam hearkened to the physical nature, which was his wife. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let's get back, what was that, John 3? Let's read that again. John, chapter 3, verse 16. For Yahweh so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him. Now, when it says whosoever, he's talking about the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. You understand me? Talking about the two tribes. Because he understands the two tribes has split. One went in a different time frame period, was known as BC, and the children of Israel, Judah, went into slavery in AD, which is known in the history book as the transatlantic slave trade. You understand me? Let me get Amos 6. Let me get Amos 6 and 7. Amos chapter 6 verse 7. Therefore now shall they go captive with the first that go captive. And the first that went captive was the northern kingdom. When you go to 2 Kings, the 17th chapter. You understand me? The first one's captive was the northern kingdom. They went into slavery through the Syrian Empire. You understand me? It is what it is. That was in BC, in two different time frame periods. The children of Judah went in AD. You understand me? See, so when you say you're gonna go captive with the first that go captive, meaning that the southern kingdom was gonna go into slavery just as the northern kingdom went into slavery. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let me get Psalms 76 Let me get Psalm 76 and 1 right quick. Psalms 76 verse 1. In Judah, listen, in Judah is Yahweh known. Yahweh known in Judah. Why? When you go back to John 1 and 11 chapter, he came to his own. In Hebrews 7 to tell you, Yahweh Shai came out of the tribe of Judah. You understand me? Let me get 2 Chronicles. Let me get 2 Chronicles 6 and 6 right quick. 2 Chronicles chapter 6 verse 6. But I have chosen Jerusalem that my name might be there. And his name is there. Why? Yahweh Shai came in the name of the Father. You understand me? In my name of the Father I've come. You understand me? It is what it is. Let's go over to 7 and 16 right quick. 2 Chronicles. 2 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 16. For now have I chosen and sanctified this house. And that house he sanctified and chosen are Judah. You understand me? Are the southern kingdom. That my name might be there forever. And his name is there forever. That's why his name is known in Judah. His name is known in Judah because Yahweh Shai came out of Judah. Judah is the capital of the 12 tribes of Israel. Like Washington, D.C. is the nation capital of America. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so understand that Yahweh Shai came out of Judah, so his name is known in Judah. Let's finish up. Psalms, what was this? 76 verse 1. In Judah is Yahweh known. His name is great in Israel. Now when he says Israel, he's talking about the northern kingdom. You understand me? His name is great. Why? Because the northern kingdom went into slavery long before Yahweh Shai even came. They went in a different time frame period. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. In fact, let's go back into the Apocrypha and let's get 2nd Ezra. Let's get 2nd Ezra and the Apocrypha. Let's get chapter 13 and let's go to verse 40. 2nd Ezra chapter 13 verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Osea the king, whom Shalmaneser the king of Syria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, so they came into another land. And they came into another land. You understand me? They was brought over here in what we know as America. Do you understand me? In the history books, they known as the Native American Indians. You understand me? Let's get 2 Kings to 17, right? See, so when he talking about the northern kingdom went into slavery through the Syrian Empire. You understand me? So when he says the 10, when he says the 10, he's talking about the Levites in the northern kingdom. Because see, the Levites never had an inheritance because they belonged to the Lord due to the fact of that they didn't worship that calf in the desert. You understand me? So they was ordered by Moses to slaughter all those that worship that calf. That's why it's known as the covenant of Levi. You understand me? But now Yahweh Shai has come, so now the Levites don't hold that covenant because that covenant was corrupt. You understand me? See, so they came, the Levites and the northern kingdom went into slavery. 2 Kings 17 chapter verse 6. In the 9th year of Hosea the king of Syria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Syria and placed them in Halah in the Habah by the river of Gazan in the cities of the Medes. Now let's go down to verse 23. Until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he has said by all his servants the prophets, so Israel was carried away out of their land, out of their own land to Syria unto this day. Unto this day, they're not in the land. Unto this day, the so-called African Americans, we not in the land of Israel. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so understand, whosoever, he's talking about the nation of Israel. You understand me? Because see, a lot of Israelites don't believe when he came to his own. And John 1:11, he came to his own, for his own denied him. But those whosoever believe, they became the sons of God, Yahweh God. You understand me? And Peter don't believe. That's why when you go back to John 6, Peter said, whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. Because Yahweh Shai quoted from the writings of Moses, and he repeated what the prophets spoken. And they all relate back to the tablet or to the writings of Moses. That's why when you go to John 58, Yahweh Shai say, Abraham rejoiced to see my day. He saw it and he was glad, because the promises that were established not only to Adam, but confirmed to Abraham, established in Abraham, confirmed in Jacob, came to pass in Yahweh Shai. So the promises of Abraham came to pass. You understand me? See, so when we go back to John 3:16, Yahweh so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever out of the 12 tribes of Israel, whoever believe, because everybody don't believe. That's why John 6:64, where he say, but there are some of you believe not. For he knew from the beginning who believed and who didn't believe. You understand me? It is what it is. He called everybody, but a lot of people don't hear that calling. They don't understand that calling. That's why only the elect is going to hear that call. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so that's what y'all have to understand. Let's go back. John, chapter 3, verse 16. For Yahweh so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. And he's talking about the nation of Israel, because salvation is for the nation of Israel. You understand me now? The blindness of it is that the Gentiles are going to come and learn this truth. They are going to come and learn these statutes and ordinances, due to the fact of that they're going to be obedient when it comes to the kingdom, because they're going into the kingdom as slaves. You understand me? See, the nation, these Gentile nations don't know Yahweh God nor his judgments, because they never was given. The children of Israel never gave and taught the Gentiles what they worshiping. That's why the Gentiles don't have no covenant. The Gentiles cannot be redeemed. The only people that can be redeemed is the nation of Israel. You understand me? Because the prophecies are based on the nation of Israel. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so the Gentiles are going to come and learn, and that's the blindness of it. You understand me? Let me get Romans 11. And let me get Romans 11. Oh, I'm in Corinthians. My bad. Romans 11, and let me get 25. Romans chapter 11, verse 25. For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceit. And your own conceit is talking about your own philosophy. And your own philosophy is the physical nature of man. For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceit, that blindness in part is happening to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles come in. Meaning that the Gentiles are going to come and learn this truth. A lot of Israel may not like, a lot of Israelite camps don't like it, but they're going to come and learn the truth, because they're going into slavery. They're going into slavery. You understand me? It is what it is. See, so understand. See, that's the blindness. See, so when Yahweh Shai told Peter, feed my sheep, Peter didn't understand. Although Peter was for the ministry was built on Peter, but Peter stayed more Israelites. Like these main Israelite camps to today, they're mainly with Israel. You understand me? Paul is beyond Israel. You understand me? I'm sort of like Paul too, because we are in agreement with this truth. You understand me? A lot of Hebrew Israelites don't like too much of what I say, but yet the Gentiles have salvation. The Gentiles are going to come and learn this truth. You understand me? And that's a fact, but a lot of Israelites can't see beyond that. You understand me? Because they woke into the fact of that their nationality is Israel, and they are Yahweh God chosen people. And that's all they know. You understand me? And so all of Israel shall be saved, And it shall be written, there shall come out of Zion a deliverer, and shall turn away the ungodliness of Jacob. For this is my covenant unto them when I have taken away their sins. As concerning the gospel, and they are enemies for your sake. You understand me? And a lot of Gentiles are enemies, but yet a lot of these Gentiles are going to come and learn and understand the truth. You understand me? Let me get Isaiah. Let me get Jeremiah 45. Shalaki. Let me get, what I'm saying. Let's go to the book of Isaiah 44, and let's get verse 21. Isaiah 44, verse 21. Remember this, O Jacob and Israel. O Jacob and Israel, talking about the 12 tribes of Israel, because Jacob fathered the 12 tribes. That's why we are called the Hebrew Israelites. You understand me? Abraham is the Hebrew. Jacob got the victory. His name was changed to Israel, and he fathered the Israelites, the 12 tribes. That's why we are the Hebrew Israelites. You understand me? Remember this, O Jacob and Israel, for thou art my servant. I have formed thee, thou art my servant. O Israel, thou shalt not be forgotten of me. I have blotted out as a thick cloud thy transgressions, and as a cloud thy sins. Return unto me, for I have redeemed thee. See, so he have redeemed the nation of Israel. That's who Yahweh so loved the world, that he redeemed the nation of Israel. Go to Matthew 1 and what? 21. And she should give, matter of fact, let me get that, let me get Matthew 1 and 21. Matthew chapter 1 verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son, which is Mary. Thou shalt call his name Yahweh Shai. See, Jesus never, the letter J never existed to the 1700s. So his name is not Jesus. He don't exist. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahweh Shai. For he shall save his people from their sins. And he saved them from their sins. You understand me? He redeemed the nation of Israel. Let me get Psalms, let me get Psalm 77 and 15. Psalm 77 verse 15. Thou hast with thy arm redeemed thy people, the sons of Jacob and the sons of Joseph. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so understand that the Gentiles is going to come in there, it's going to learn this truth. You understand me? Yet they are not redeemed, but they're going to come and learn and understand this truth. Let me get Isaiah, the 2nd chapter. I'm gonna get Isaiah 2 and 1, and then let me go on here into let me get the book of Ephesians 4 and 18 right quick. I'm gonna start at 17. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 17. This I say therefore and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind, meaning that the Gentile mind is emptiness. You understand me? Having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Yahweh through the ignorance that is in them. And the ignorance that is in them, and the ignorance that is darkness, is talking about the physical nature of man, the philosophy and the ideology of man. It's wickedness. You understand me? It goes against Yahweh God. You understand me? The simple nature of man, or the physical nature of man, is deceitfulness. You understand me? Because of the blindness of their heart. Now let's read that again. This I say therefore and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind, having the understanding darkened, been alienated from the life of Yahweh through the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart. Meaning that the children of Israel, we cannot be like the Gentile nations, because the Gentile nations don't know the Yahweh God. They don't know the commandments. The Gentile nations know the physical, whatever comes to their mind, that's the law. And they in the darkness. Their darkness is the philosophy of man and ideology. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so they have no covenant. Their mind is in darkness. So Gentiles cannot be redeemed. So Yahweh Shai never came to establish a covenant with the church. Not with the Christian church, because what y'all try to do is put his birth in the 4th century to bring about the triumph or to spread of Christianity. You understand me? Romans chapter 2 verse 14. For when the Gentiles which have not the law do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves, which show the work of the law written in their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts the meanwhile accursing or else excusing one another. Meaning that the Gentiles don't have no covenant. They can't be redeemed, so whatever comes to the Gentile mind, that's a law. For instance, if a white man say, let me dig up a grave and fuck a dead corpse, that's a law to the Gentiles. If the Gentiles say, yo, let me go and kill this mouse and eat it, even though we have dietary laws, the children of Israel, yet the Gentile nation don't have dietary laws. Eating that mouse is a righteous thing to them. And they're going to push it in religious teachings. Because they're going to tell you that all meats are clean and God created them all equally. But they lack understanding the biblical scriptures, because you have to be taught. Because yet the scriptures are written symbolic and metaphorically. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so when Yahweh Shai told Peter to feed the sheep, Peter didn't understand. Peter was blind to the fact that the Gentiles are going to come into this truth. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is, because they going into slavery. You understand? Isaiah. Oh, what was that? I closed it up. Isaiah chapter 2 verse 1. The word that Isaiah the son of Amoz saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. Now Judah is talking about the tribe. Jerusalem is talking about the southern kingdom. You understand me? And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord house shall be established in the top of mountains, and shall be exalted above hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. Now when it says mountains, he's talking about governing system of man. And when he says the hills, he's talking about the local levels of government, because you got small government and you got big government. The small government is the city and state government. Then you got the you have the city government, then you have the state government, then you have the federal government, and then you got a one world governing system. See, y'all don't understand what this game is about. Do you understand me? See, so his mountain going to be so the mountain is going to be established. Now that mountain is what you call the divine governing system. A lot of Israelites teach that in the second Exodus that they're going to come to that mountain, Mount Sinai, and that's not true. That's false. That's a lie. You understand me? He's not talking about that mountain, Mount Sinai. You understand me? That mountain is Yahweh Shai, that divine governing system, because that commandment is going to govern the body of people, the statutes and ordinance. You understand me? See, so they're going to come and learn these commandments. They're going to come and learn these statutes and ordinance, because the Gentiles are going into slavery. You understand me? So we're not talking about Mount Sinai. You understand me? And a lot of main Israelite camps teach that, and that's false. You understand me? Verse 3. And many people will go and say, come ye, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of Yahweh of Jacob. And he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his path. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And that's Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai is the commandments. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so understand the Gentiles, it's going to come and they're going to learn the truth, because they're going into slavery. Because the kingdom of Yahweh God is reverse slavery. We in Romans. Let me get Romans 9. And let me start at I'm gonna start at 4. Romans chapter 9 verse 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Yahweh and the promises, who are the fathers, and of who concerning the flesh Christ came. Now when he said concerning the flesh, he's talking about that physical covenant, because that physical covenant was established with Abraham, Isaac, and confirmed into Jacob. You understand me? See, so when Paul's talking about circumcision in the flesh, he's talking about the nation of Israel. Now, the uncircumcised are the Gentile nations because they have no covenant. They uncircumcised. You understand? Let's go to verse, let's finish up. Verse 6. Not as though the word of Yahweh taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are Israel. Meaning that all Abraham kids are not Israelites. The only Israelites of Abraham kids was Jacob, because Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Right? And Israel, Jacob had fathered 12 tribes, which are the Israelites. So all the Abraham kids are not Israelites, despite Abraham being their father. You have one nation of people, and that's the Israelites, and they are chosen. You understand me? Because Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Let's read that again. Not as though the word of Yahweh taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are Israel. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham, they are all children, meaning they are physical seed of Abraham. But in Isaac thou seed shall be called. See, Isaac, his seed was called Jacob and Yahushai. Anybody else outside of that, they are the physical seed of Abraham. You understand me? But they are counted as nothing. You understand me? Because the nation, the world was made for the nation of Israel to rule the 12 tribes. You understand? That is, they which are called the children of the flesh, these are not the children of Yahweh, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. For this is the word of promise. At that time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac. For the children being not yet born, neither done any good or evil, that the purpose, listen, the purpose of Yahweh according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that called it. Because Yahweh already knew that the world was going to come to a close. That's why your life is already written. Your faith is already written. You understand me? That's why the Bible, if you die right now, your name not in the book. You understand me? Life is already written. Do you understand me? Your faith is already written. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger, and that's Yahweh God's covenant. Now, do he have Yahweh got when you finish up, Yahweh choose have mercy on whom he choose and whom he please. You understand me? That's on him. So he chose the nation of Israel. There is no unrighteousness with God. He pick and choose who he want. You understand me? And we are the chosen people. He picked and chose us. You understand me? So we are redeemed. You understand me? Because he understand they going into slavery. Let me get the book of Amos. My time getting cut short because my break is over with. You know? But it's a good run to learn and understand what you worshiping. Amos chapter 9 verse 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and all the heathens which are called by my name, saith the Lord. Meaning that everything that Esau and them own, we're going to have. The cars, the money, everything that Esau, we got. And his offsprings, they are going into slavery. Because the kingdom of Yahweh God is reversed slavery. You understand me? Let me get Isaiah 54 right quick. And let me close it up right quick. Because I got to get up out of here. Isaiah 54 verse 3. For thou shalt break forth from the right hand and on the left, and thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles, and make thy desolated cities to be inhabited. Meaning that on the right hand, on the left hand. Meaning that the sheep is going to be on the right hand are the Israelites, and on the left hand are going to be the Gentile nations. And when they break forth, we're going to inherit them. You understand me? We're going to exercise lordship over the Gentiles. Do you understand me? Where I was at? And Isaiah, let me get let me go into what, 65? And let me have verse 22. Isaiah 65 verse 22. They shall not build another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of a tree are the days of my people, which is Israel, and my elect long enjoy the works of their hands. Meaning that you Gentiles are going into slavery because y'all going to be working for us. You understand me? Let me get Psalms 2 and 8. Psalms chapter 2 verse 8. Ask of me, and I will give thee the heathen for thy inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with the rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them into pieces like a potter vessel. Meaning that we're going to be beating y'all ass. When y'all don't listen in the kingdom, we're going to be beating that ass. You understand? The kingdom of Yahweh God to reverse slavery. You understand me? See, so when you go back to John 3:16, he's not talking about the church that he established a covenant with. Because see, y'all were taught that he was silent for 500 years and then he came in the flesh and made a covenant with the church. That's a lie. That's why you got that's why you got the Apocrypha. Because history never stopped. The world never stopped. Do you understand me? He never stopped talking to the nation of Israel. You understand me? But it's just through the religious teachings, y'all were taught that he had stopped. Yet that's a lie. You understand me? See, so learn to understand what y'all worshiping.